Yeah, hello and welcome to the Banter Blitz show for tonight, July 25th. Let's get rolling with some games. Do we have the... Hey, that looks good. Let's get started. Yeah, you can just use the old challenge. You don't have to challenge a second time. So, let's get rolling, playing till 2007. Got white, so let's play. Yeah, and now I also fixed is a really strong word. The issue with starting the show earlier, the German show, I resolved that now because as I mentioned, they updated my XSplit software, and there was a checkbox that I now have to tick before I start the stream, and I didn't tick that before the German show, and now I did, and things look fine. Okay, knight e5 would have threatened mate in one. Yeah, I always feel if they threaten a mate, like you always get this sudden, the sudden burst of, it's not adrenaline, but you kind of know, okay, I have to be careful. Even if it's a simple one move threat, the threat of mate is always going to have this. It always has this air to me of danger, like when you're at the edge of I don't know, a bridge or a cliff or something. Like, yeah, be careful now. One wrong step and you could be checkmated. Okay, I played this double fianchetto with the pawn on b3. Is quite useful as it covers the c4 square. And now I kick the knight back. And the next step is trying to check how I can get this attack going. No, the streaming program isn't difficult to use, actually. It's just that some particular feature that was basically default in the old version, I had to get activated by clicking a checkbox, and I simply did not pay attention before the German show because, like, what is that checkbox all about? I didn't really look. Okay, I'm trying here to put the knight onto f5. Yeah, this is something that I expected, but I couldn't really believe that this should work. The issue is that he got 2 pawns, but he does not have any adequate pieces around my king to support it. I don't really think this is so dangerous. In fact, it could rather be me that's going to get an attack going. Yeah, so I'm just taking it and put this onto d5. Knight on f5, d5, and the bishop on b2. That really spells trouble. So I probably bishop f8, I don't know. g7 is hanging. I can just take g7. I wonder if I have something even more forceful. But bishop takes g7 is not really bad. Queen h2 is the threat. Let's get the queen here. Yeah, I have to apologize if I should yawn at some point. It's not really... it's certainly a bit impolite, but it's hard to not do it. I mean, the recent days and nights have been difficult. I didn't really get much sleep due to the heat. Yeah, now I'm threatening knight to h6 mate, which is really tough to defend against, really. I didn't see how. I don't think there was a defense. Yeah, checkmate. Thanks for the game till 2007. This opening is fairly solid for black, by the way. I would still recommend to play bishop e7 here. It's, I think, slightly better for white, g3 against this as well, but it's fairly okay for black. Okay, so a battery bob I played before. Zurid I did not play. Let me check if there is somebody new around. Ivan Deutschev. Okay. Got white again, but I think this is simply coincidental. I've got many whites. No, I did not yet. Had somebody over my place to check if what to do for air conditioning. I will probably do that for next year because I mean in 3 weeks I will leave for my holiday of 3 weeks, and then I mean it could still be very hot in September, but I don't know. The thing is, I don't think they would simply like come over and do that in 5 days. It would take some time to check what you can do if you have to put something in the wall or whatever. And this I think would rather take 1 or 2 weeks. I don't know. They probably have some relatively busy days fixing existing air conditioning systems and so on due to the heat. And I think it is probably better done next year. I mean, they might be ready to install it in like 3 weeks, and I'm off to my holiday. Then I'm back in September, and we don't know what the temperatures are then. So I felt it's okay to wait. It looks a little bit difficult for him now to not lose a pawn in the center. He cannot move the d pawn due to bishop takes c6. Rook d8, I have rook d1. A rook probably. Yeah, it looks very, very annoying for black. Is that Lithuania? Bulgaria, Bulgaria. Yeah, Deutschev sounds more like Bulgaria. Okay. I don't think till is 11. Maybe it is till with one L. Maybe it is just short for until. Okay, I can take here and I can take e4. The d file. So what now? Just take, or it's not, I don't really have to take. And if I don't, I mean, this is a good move. I'm still threatening d5, and the pawn cannot move as c6 hangs. Yeah. I tried to trade bishops. The advantage of trading those is that you don't get opposite colored bishops anymore. Simply avoiding a potential factor that would increase the likelihood of a draw. Okay, I can go g4, it's just too lame. h3. Yeah, I've got a technically very comfortable position, but there are many ways of playing it. d6, it's not really necessary. Trying to win yet another pawn. Yeah, it all looks fine. Maybe add some additional stability to the knight. Even though he's got h3, which is, that's annoying. A little bit at least. h3, king f3, bishop c7. I got knight c5 though, okay. So not a problem. Now I think I'm actually threatening to play rook d6 and take the pawn. Rook d5, show off move. King takes, check. Take g8, but I can actually do that. My pawn structure is absolutely without any weaknesses, so the king cannot enter. Yeah, black is 3 pawns down now. Knight g5, but I've got all the time in the world. Okay, rook d2 might be his next move, but it takes ages until this is threatening anything substantial. Yeah. Prevent rook d2, threaten knight f6. The kind of move you want to play. Defend and threaten at the same time. That should win the bishop. He's got all the. He's definitely justified in playing. I got a game in the German show where I stalemated my opponent with queen and rook up. That was not really great. Yes. So continuing is probably an idea. Okay, you Jake. I don't know. I don't really see all that much without the glasses. I can do that. Yeah, I got that water spray. It sounds silly, I know, but it is helpful. Let's see if I got h5. No, we press h3. Yeah, by the time people have realized that you need to be careful with castling there. On the other hand, here the d4 pawn is a useful target, while h3 is not quite clear. It's not quite clear what the benefit is. Sure. You can try bishop e3 here, of course. The structure with knight e3, f takes e3 is not entirely clear. I've had this on the board a couple of times, and in fact sometimes the bishop situation on a7 is so serious that it does not really help all that much if you take on e3. Okay. Okay, if I play queen e7, there is knight d5. That's totally useless. So let's regroup this. Yeah, d5. I always have knight e5. So that is rarely a problem. It is sometimes a playable option for white, but it doesn't really give him much. Yeah, I tried to prepare d5 myself. If I take this, he's got e4 at the end, so I'm just going to regroup here. I think this is quite reasonable. I'm not better or anything, but it's quite okay. The question is, how do I exactly play it? Doubling on the e-file, or I can also try for piece play, queen g5, but it's tough to actually threaten something. Now that I think of it, the knight on g6 looks a bit silly. It really does. And that I should have played differently. I'm trying for queen f6, knight e6, putting more pressure on the d-pawn. I'm sorry, voice is failing me a little bit. Tal would play knight h4. I don't think he would have been. He would have done that. It was a bit too incorrect. And most of Tal's sacrifices were correct anyway. A lot of this talk about Tal with his incorrect sacrifices is complete urban legend. It's really not the case. Most of his sacrifices were just fine and based on a very good calculation or feel for the position. It is very much worth watching Peter Svidler's small video series on his favorite games by Tal here on Chess24. It's a really nice video series that I can absolutely recommend. And it shows that Tal was not, I don't know, some crazy risk taker or whatever. He just played extremely strong, dynamic chess. In many ways, he was really ahead of his time. No. In one word, no. I don't think that's going to work. I think my bishop coming to c6 could be extremely dangerous. Isn't queen takes d5 completely devastating? It looks like it. Mate on g2 or h1. One of those ouch moments. Yeah, thanks for the game. JKL. Back attack. That's some relation to David Beckham or something. I have no clue. Okay. Let's go play a Dutch defense. What about the Dutch defender? He's not around, yeah? Often he is. Build a stone wall. Stone wall is not a bad opening. It's really quite interesting. Knight c3. Yeah, I oftentimes, I mean, I play this opening very rarely, but if I do, I somehow often am stuck with this bishop d78 idea, because I never have a good feel for when to play with b6. I mean, in this particular situation, I think it's okay. The bishop will be okay there. Yeah, the question is where do I spend my holidays? And my summer holidays are always spent in Slovenia, but that's since 2012. Already quite a bit of time. But I still happily return every year. It's a bit... yeah. Have to take, I guess. Not so happy about this, but the bishop on b2 is certainly not a great piece either. I was more worried about him taking with the pawn and then trying to pressurize the e-pawn. Okay, is e4 an issue here? I don't really think. here. I don't know. Queen takes. Still got rook f1. Very solid play here by back attack. Yeah, I think this should be equal. Given the choice, I'm rather black, I have to admit, but at least with black I have some idea what to do, like maybe bishop b1 at some point. Just putting it back. Okay. I don't know. e5? Doesn't look too promising. Maybe I can get in king f7, e7 or so that the king defends the pawn, and then I can move the queen a little bit better. It's not easily... Okay. Yeah, that's definitely true. My bishop is a little bit better. Actually, both bishops are a little bit better. Okay. My idea is queen to e1. Queen to f1 is... What about bishop e4 here? Yeah, I've got... Maybe I got a little something. I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. Okay. And then bishop f4 or no. I can take. Yeah, let's see. At least he's got something to think about. I was just hanging. I don't know. Somehow I managed to confuse him. It was pretty equal, I think. Maybe, I mean, I'm certainly preferring black here, but I don't think white necessarily needs to lose this. Yeah, thanks a lot for playing back attack. Okay, so if we go a little bit further down the list, Öl der Schrecken, we've got a couple of regular opponents here. Zurid only played once, so let's get going. Zurid. Okay, it's a moment for the Petrov. Concrete and steel. And he's allowing this line. It's still remarkable how often you get that on the board. He didn't take f7. Now he sees all backwards. Knight back to g1. Bishop b3 is really odd. Okay, you can end game with an extra piece after 10 moves. That's not bad. Could trade even more, yeah? But I can also use the pieces and try to be as active as possible. Knight c2 was trading more, but yeah, you can also use the extra piece to attack. Yeah, I think in the Biel tournament, the Swiss player can certainly be happy with having drawn against Magnus today. He had 0 out of 3, I think, and now finally got on the scoreboard. And it's a super tough tournament, really. It's the kind of tournament, I mean, okay, actually, I completely understand that he took that invitation because it could be the once in a lifetime opportunity, let's say, to play such an event that might really never come again. But it's the difference in playing strength between him and the top guys is so high. It's actually a bit too high. So, like what I would definitely recommend, like if you, I mean, in this case he's playing the world champion and so on, but if you for some reason would get an invitation to a round robin tournament, and let's say you're a 200-point underdog against the second to last seed, I would simply not play that. This is too much of a difference. We just score. Yeah, we just get so much frustration potentially. Yeah, and Zorit resigns. He immediately gave me a fantastic position in the opening. Definitely. Yeah, there's learning potential if you play stronger plays. And again, in this case, I don't want to criticize him for taking that invitation. It's not really not the case. I'm just saying you have to be very, it can be very, very tough. If you have if you are such a huge underdog. Okay, I'm playing Fuchsrudel, and it will probably be a Scotch 4 Knights. Yeah, against d6, bishop b5 is good. Getting into a Rui Lopez all of a sudden. This bishop c6, queen d3 idea was not known to me before my work on the e4 repertoire. I had this against Fuchsrudel, yeah. I had this against him already. I have this enormous pot of tea. I probably won't manage to tonight. You really have to make sure that you get enough water. Long castles. I mean, okay. I simply think that I'm too quick on the queen side is the problem. The counterplay currently does not look all that dangerous, and I'm going to be quick here. It's all good. Yeah, Bishop G5 is just me playing too positionally, probably. When you should play for mate. I will still do it. I'm such a lame player. Bishop G5 was completely geared towards controlling D5 better. I had in mind a position like that, but compared to the playing for mate, it was too quickly played. Compared to playing for mate, this is still rather lame. And I don't think it's bad or something, but I think I probably could have gotten more. And that's a nice story that Eric Clapton didn't want to play the guitar anymore after having heard Hendrix. That sounds fun. It sounds fun. I mean, it sounds like it's a funny story. The line with Queen E3 was already recommended by Tarash. Yeah, possible. This is a really ancient opening line. Knight B3 is now threatening to win the exchange. And I've got time. I don't rush things here. I should not pre-move. The pawn takes, knight takes is a bit stronger. Yeah, black has one very serious issue. There's just no counterplay. I get the C file opened up now. Did I blunder? Bishop takes B5? It's possible. I'm really probably not really fresh. My mind is not really fresh. So what to do? Okay, so yeah, now I can take on b7, right? It was an idea anyway, but now it definitely works. It's got no check and queen a7 mate. You cannot stop. Yeah, thanks a lot for the game, Fuchsrudel. There anybody around that have never played? Franco Yanko. Yeah. New opponent. Okay, let's go e4. What is Franco doing? Ah, by the way, I should have done that already in the German show. I forgot to mention something. Starting mid-August, end of August, we'll see what I'm doing in my vacation, during my vacation time. This show will be rescheduled, by the way, to Fridays. We will have the same times, but on Friday instead of Wednesday. It's a bit different. This day is a bit better for me, but I hope it's not a showstopper for the audience, for many people in the audience. I have some changes in the way my week is structured due to my chess club switching club evenings. And it is the best day for me after this change. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The drunken lawyer is not going to be able to participate. What do you have your club evening on Friday, or you just want to go party? No, we won't have any collision. Andre will move to Thursday, I think. Okay, so here I have a really nice advantage in space. Yeah, okay, you got your club evening on Fridays. Yeah, we had the club evening on Fridays as well, but we got a switch, and I needed to reschedule many things. It was kind of a domino effect. Yeah, like we switched to Thursdays, then I had to reschedule my Thursday obligations, and so on. Yeah, you can imagine. Okay, so what's going on? I can take d7 and b6. I mean, it's a bit of a shame to take this lousy knight, but I mean, yeah, that's a rather strong queen on b6 after having okay. Okay, yeah, just go back. Why not? No, I have not really looked at the games of Lila Zero, that new engine. Yeah, I mean, if this engine is playing like sacrificial style or what, this sounds nice, but it's only possible if you want to play in the style of Murphy. The opponent has to play really badly, you know. I mean, you should never. I mean, Paul Murphy was extremely strong for his day and age, but you have to see how bad the opponents were. You only got those sacrificial games in because the opponents were sometimes really quite bad players. I mean, many games by Paul Murphy, they weren't even against chess professionals, but rather against amateurs that were some local celebrities or something like that. He played a match against, for example, against someone called Meek. I'm not sure about the first name, and he won that like very, very clearly. It's almost made, right? And I looked it up once, and this guy was Meek was a general in the American Civil War, and he was just a hobby player. And it's just like, I don't know, if Carlsen today, you saw Carlsen play against Bill Gates, and you see what happened. Yeah, and yeah. This is the character of those old games sometimes. Yeah, thanks for the game, Franco. Yeah, sure, he was also a lot stronger than Anderson and so on. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I have not looked at the games of this engine. I mean, it would be interesting to see if you give if you use certain positions and then have different. Not so quick. Have different engines analyze the positions and see if there is really substantial difference. That would be interesting to see, because I think let's say there could be, of course, differences between the moves of Stockfish and Komodo or something, but in most cases those two engines or other conventional engines would, I think, simply come to the conclusion to suggest the same move. It would be interesting if this differently programmed engine, if it would really play entirely differently. It would be interesting. Takes with the knight, okay. Vicky Bao says that he played lots of games recently with the birds opening in the style of the Leningrad Dutch with reversed colors. Yeah. That is an interesting way of playing. That's called the polar bear, right? There's even I think a self-published book out by Henrik Danielsen. Now that's an okay opening, absolutely. I have never really considered to play it myself. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but I think it's fine. I mean, you have an extra tempo on Leningrad, and if you enjoy those positions, then it can definitely be an option for you. You will definitely be in a situation where you frequently will know the position type better than your opponent, and this is of course worth something in itself completely regardless of the quality of the position. And it's not too bad. The positions are mostly closed and fairly strategic. Okay. Okay, 3 was not on my agenda. Makes sense. Prevent any further damaging of the pawn structure. Okay, I tried to get the king involved. Oh, that's surprising. Here my pawn structure is a lot more convenient. And in fact, I think I'm winning a pawn already. Like rook takes, rook b2, rook c5, and I'm winning a pawn due to the bad back rank. After rook c2 or rook b4, I have d5, and then I will win the c pawn as you cannot take it due to the back rank mate. Or in case of rook c2, d5 because of the pin. No, rook on c2 is hanging. Yeah, you cannot win without the king. Yeah, White wants to get the king to d4. Not the end of the world, I'm just wondering what to do against it. I can go c3, it's not an issue, and then king c6, b5, but Carlo, I'm not quite sure that I follow what you're saying. With ID 507, I really don't know what you're trying to say. In this ending, I should win easily because the c-pawn will eventually move. Rook c6, d6, then get the c-pawn rolling. Oh, this one. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going back and win those pawns. Good all the time here, no need to rush. It was probably possible to win in a quicker way, but this is very simple. Yeah, thanks for the game, Martin Geier from Switzerland, it seems. Okay, so JKF Stevens. I've only played him once. So let's get rolling. Just something else. And the modern with c6 and d5 is an interesting line. Get somewhat unconventional positions. Actually, he could have taken pawn takes rook e1. It's something that I should have prevented. Okay, yeah, this I think should be fine, unless white is getting some attack going, which is possible. I mean, h4, h5 would hit quite quickly. Okay, first let's get rid of that bishop. I want to make sure that the pawn stays on e5. The issue here with white's position is that this knight, I mean, he took some time actually to get it there, but the knight looks misplaced. It looks at protected squares, h5, f5, e4. That is not ideal. And at the same time, e5 is a pawn that needs some protection. And currently, it's not protected enough. And f4 is not an ideal solution to this. c5, queen g4. Yeah, okay, I don't mind that. Queen trade would be quite convenient. I can undermine the queen side even more. Okay, so if I take it, bishop will take. I can also go back and attack this even more. I wonder if after f4, a, b, c, b, if knight e5 is good. Knight e5, pawn takes, bishop takes, and then the rook is hanging on a1. Probably it's not that great. Look at this a little bit more closely. Covering e6 here. Yeah. Why not? Well, that's the whole point of the opening, putting more pressure on e5. c4 is a good square. Why not? I don't really see any meaningful counterplay. Yeah, take on c3 or... Yep. Yeah, h5 is a threat, but I can also look at f2 a little bit. Not so easy to cover that. The rook, I mean, you can play very passive moves like rook f1, but I don't really see an active way to cover it. Rook e2 blunders the a1 rook. And What exactly is your move now? It's giving me that. Okay. Let's trade queens. Yeah, I'm greedy. I have to admit that. If you give me so many center pawns, I will take them. They don't have good squares there for the rook. Okay, thanks for the game, JKF Stevens. So, is there anybody challenging me that I have never played? No, not a single person. Okay, so Epinikion, let's get going. Okay, let's go d4. Yeah, Queen's Gambit declined. Carlsbad. Very sound opening. Bishop h4 is probably better here, right? He's got c5 now. No, anyway, it's probably not super important. Maybe I should have taken with the knight on d7. Yeah, the next tournament I will play will be that small weekend tournament in Bavaria, in Ortenburg, early September. As mentioned earlier, I'm not so keen on classical time control games. There might be something happening later in the year. I sometimes play those weekend events, the 5 rounds, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In particular, if they choose to not use a super long time control. And that can be fun, yeah. Go there with friends, have a nice weekend. We've done that some 2 years ago. I rented a small apartment for the weekend. It was fun. But not sure that this tournament in particular that we were playing 2 years ago, that this will be on this year. Probably not. And I got some other things that I'm going to do later this year, so really not much time for any tournament play. Early October I will be the coach for the German championships for teams. Yeah, German Ländermeisterschaften, I'm not sure what this is. German state championships. And in November there will be, probably in November, that we will have an event in London promoting some new product that I'm working on. But this is all not set in stone. Yeah, what I'm trying here in this game is to push e4, and in trying, I managed. I managed to play it. Yeah, black now has to be alert. I'm threatening rook f6, I think. And of course e5 as a simple threat. Let's see what he's doing. He's not covering the rook f6 idea. It's hard to believe that. Yeah, come on. This is kind of pointless. I'm going to sacrifice anyway. So pretending to think about it is really a bit silly. This is probably not even the best move, but it's the kind of thing you just want to play. So I'm playing it. The issue here is maybe queen e5, g5. Yeah. Yeah, again, I'm fairly certain that was not, my play was not best, but it was tough to resist. Okay, so the rook looks fine on b6. f5, I'm taking, okay. I wonder how to improve this here. I should just bring the knight to a better square, or you just play the king up. I'm just playing the king. Yeah, many ways to continue to improve. I've got so many pawns. How many? 1, 2, well, 6, 2. I just got 2 pawns. It feels like more, but it isn't. Let's see. I don't necessarily need that bishop on c2. From e2 I can attack the pawn, or I can maybe play bishop h5 to g6. That time is not really good for black either. He wants to play f5, I guess. Let's stop it. Let's just be radical about it. Next move I will take c4. Yeah, thanks for the game, Epinikion. Not sure, maybe it was good to take on f6. I was a bit skeptical. The kind of move you just want to play and you cannot really resist doing it. This is what happens to me quite frequently. I see a move that just looks fine and like, really want to play that? Okay. Let's go for one more Petrov. Knight f6 is my line there, as long as I have not looked at knight takes c3 in too much detail. This is a move that you can just learn in 30 minutes or 20 minutes and play. You have a very easy development plan, and white does not have anything great available against it. You play later c6, potentially d5, and try to claim that the knight is not great. And oftentimes white spends lots of time to get the knight onto better squares. Yeah, what he did is he allowed the pin with bishop g4, which is uncommon. Normally white plays an early h3 to completely avoid this altogether. Yeah, and now he's almost forced to play a move like bishop e2. Not happy about getting the Benoni here. Probably I should have played d5 here immediately. Ooh. Yeah, I'm really not happy here. Just a bit worse here. Yeah, d6. Not nice to have this weakish pawn there the whole time. Trying to get rid of the knight at least with knight f6 next. Expect him to play c4 maybe. Not sure about it. Maybe he's got something better with c4. Yeah, this is a move that I also felt might happen. Knight f6 I can take with the knight. I don't know how to get rid of this. That nagging pressure. I don't really think that c4 helps much, if anything, but I don't want to sit around the whole time. It's really a bit annoying. Has got rook b1 and so on. That's really not, that wasn't a good idea. No, that was not a good idea at all. Just a very bad position for no real compensation or anything. Yeah, I'm not totally certain what he should play though. I mean, it's not, at least to me, completely straightforward. Yeah, I thought queen c4 is actually possible, but at the end he will take on b7. Yeah, whatever. Probably still have to do it. d5 is hanging, and rook d2 is not ideal. Got some fighting chances here at least. Okay, I'm getting this back. Not bad. Things could be worse. Is the chat broken, by the way? I haven't seen a single message for quite a while. Okay, the chat is fine. Okay. Ah, he's got the friggin' mate thread at the end. Always play the same guys. Yeah, there are no other guys available. It's not like I have a choice of 50 players, you know. You could have challenged yourself, PHC. I know he challenged before, but he withdrew it at some point. Can just challenge and replay. I don't think we have played many games, like 3 games. It's offering me a draw, which is probably correct. Yeah, well played by Öl. Thanks a lot for playing. Okay, yeah, I don't have a player in the list who has never played. I mean, after a while, yeah, Battery Bob I've played. Middle Gambit I've also played, but only got 3 or 4 challenges. Got far more viewers than challenges. Okay, I'm going e4 against Middle Gambit. I think we're going to go for probably two more games. Going to do some extra minutes because of my late start of the German show. This is I now understand this nickname. Ölder Schrecken. Yeah, okay, I'm getting there. Okay, well, this is a really nice pawn structure for me. Yeah, the dark squares, definitely a bit of an issue here for black. Okay, I'm just taking this, or probably yes. It's actually not a huge deal that black lost his pawn. It's weakish anyway. I thought he would go e5 to make the bishop more mobile, the c8 bishop. The whistling sound. Is it me breathing? I don't know. He's trying to force this position open. Okay. Yeah, bishop, I mean, okay, if I play bishop e3, it's not going to take it, is the thing. He will probably play the queen to a5. Yeah, it's probably still right. Yeah, I will play Jolly Bishop, I guess. That makes sense. A new opponent, so let's do that right after this game. I have to do some extra minutes. Huh? We started late, so... Bishop c5 has an issue, actually, because... Yeah... I don't want to give him f4 to hop to. One thing I know with 100% certainty is that right after this show is ending, I'm going to take a shower. Sitting 3 hours in this room is kind of, you really know that you have done some work after it, really do. I'm a bit surprised that he voluntarily steps into a pin. Rook d1. Yeah, it looks okay to trade more. It's got one check, king f1. No, nothing. Nothing special. b4. If I go b4, probably will move the king, huh? I don't know. That looks... Yeah, I'm just going to move the rook away, like to e1. If he plays king h8 or so, I go rook e1. I wonder if queen b5, queen b5, I can take on b5, yeah, simple. Rook d1, queen f1. Yeah, let's just go into the file, so that I can definitely move the knight next and so on. Knight, ouch. That's the queen. Yeah, thanks a lot for the game. Middle gambit. So, Jolly's bishop. I can take that challenge. That will be the final game for tonight. He's playing my line. I mean, not like I haven't invented the Rossolimo, but I'm playing it all the time. Knight f6 is a slightly underestimated variation. It's not fantastic, but it's quite playable, and oftentimes I think the white players have no detailed knowledge. Yeah, here bishop has to move. Don't think it really matters where you go. I'm playing b5 anyway. I think that's how you play it, but it's been a really quite a while since I looked at this line. It was recommended in Tony Rotella's book, The Killer Sicilian, the book on the Kalashnikov variation, and Tony did a good job there with also with all the sidelines. One thing I know though, that for 6 moves, 2 minutes is too much. And I mean, the game will not be decided here if you play bishop d5 or bishop b3. I know I'm guilty of doing the same thing, so yeah. But yeah, one thing I know, my development is not good, but maybe I'm winning d5. Yes, d5 is a really good pawn to win. Very important pawn, and you cannot castle, quite clearly. Okay, so e5 protects the captured pawn on d4 and the b4 pawn. Yeah, bishop g7 is not really doing that much, I think. King is not bad on f7. I would absolutely like to play h5, h4, h3, but you're currently not getting it in, really. It would help a lot with the long diagonal. Yeah, 1 minute 20. Yeah, he's really taking too much time. That will be very difficult. That's not an increment time. With an increment you can sometimes do quite crazy things. A prime example of crazy things with the increment is Grishuk. Yeah, he sometimes really lets the clock run down and then yeah, try to play on the increment, and oftentimes very successfully. Yeah, h5 will be my next move. White should probably go h4. I could have trapped the bishop. Yeah, that's true. But now this h-pawn run will be strong. e4 also is strong. It's almost made there on f2. Can escape to e3. It's not a mate in one. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for watching this show, directly broadcasted live from the sauna that is my office. I'm off to the shower now, but I'm happy to tell you that I switch the camera off before I do that. And thanks a lot for watching. I'll be back next week, most likely on Wednesday. Yeah, it will be probably again a Wednesday. But as mentioned, we will switch to the Friday a little bit later in August. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.